Chase Elliott had probably one of the most disappointing years you can ever imagine, being the superstar and the all time popular driver of the last 3 years. Can he turn that around in 2024, or will it be another disappointing season? I'll make the case. Well, I think Chase will be a championship contender. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Ryan Peters. Thank you for joining us here on Stuck in the Catch Fence. It's Daytona week, baby. We are excited to go. Mother Nature, don't do us dirty. Don't do us dirty. But we have another series in the case four, and this time it's going to be Chase Elliott. And not only is he going to make the playoffs, I'm going to make the case on why I believe that Chase Elliott is a championship contender. But before I get started, thank you everybody last week. One of the best, if not the best week I ever had on the channel. All you new subscribers, everybody that's now joined in, thank you so much. And the 0.1% that watching Uzbekistan, heart goes out to you. So let's get into it. This is why you're here for. You want to hear about why you listen to this guy right here talk about why Chase Elliott, the Kyle Busch fan, is going to make that case. Chase Elliott, let's go backwards first before we go forward. Chase Elliott last year had a tumultuous year. He started off the season strong. He was competing in the Daytona 500. He then got second place, trailing behind Kyle Busch at Auto Club, and then ended up breaking his leg and having an injury that kept him out of the race car for about a month and a half. I think it was 6 weeks. And really got into the car, didn't look the same. And then shortly after that, right hooked Denny Hamlin to then get suspended and only participate in 29 races last year compared to what we typically see, a full schedule run by Chase Elliott. And the most important stat that, well, everybody knows is that Chase Elliott didn't win a race last year. He was excluded out of the playoffs due to his points and the fact that he did not win a race. He almost pointed himself into the playoffs despite not racing in 7 races last year. So it was by all means a very, very disappointing year for Chase Elliott. Again, Chase Elliott is the most popular driver in the sport as voted on by you, the fans. Now, some people, like Travis on this channel, would say, Travis Butt, that is the ballot is being stuffed, that he believes his guy Kyle Larson is the most popular driver, but we can only do with what information we have. So Chase Elliott, the most popular driver, and I think it's very evident that he is very, very popular at the track. I mean, whenever you go, there are tons of people cheering for Chase Elliott. There's tons of people rooting for him. You know, he's got a lot of popularity because of his dad. He's not the most charismatic person. He has the edge of, a piece of Play-Doh. That's about as how edgy as Chase Elliott is you're ever going to get him. But the one thing that we've seen on Chase Elliott is that he is a good driver. You know, he's been in trucks and competed. He's been in Xfinity and competed well. Now, granted, he's always had the opportunity to compete well because he's been in good rides. But nonetheless, whenever Chase Elliott has been in a NASCAR, he is one of the 5 drivers on every single week that have an opportunity to win. So, why is last year an anomaly? And I'm going to tell you why. I firmly believe that what we saw out of Chase Elliott was one of the best things you can do for an athlete, and that is a proverbial wake-up call. Last year, Chase Elliott, while making his way into NASCAR was not going to be that difficult, needed something to wake him up to let him know that he is not the best driver. He might be the most popular driver, but on a year in and year out basis, if he does not focus in on his craft, he is not the best driver in the sport. Now, that may change from year to year, and I think that's possible. But Chase Elliott, a former champion, needed something to reinvigorate him, refocus him, and that was the tumultuous year that he had last year. And you can say, why would that matter? Why does somebody need that? Well, I think whenever you come from where you come from, and the opportunities given to you based upon your last name, I think sometimes it's good to have somebody then kind of give you that slap in the face and go, hey, there's a lot of paid professionals out here, really damn good ones too, that are now going to reignite that fire to become a championship racer. Chase Elliott may have had nothing to prove other than the fact that he can get behind a car and win more often than not in Hendrick equipment. That wasn't the case last year. And not only was it not the case, he really had a black eye. There's people blaming him for the incident when it comes to breaking his leg. I just firmly do not want to see somebody right hook somebody dangerously on a track and making them wreck and then getting suspended. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong for Chase Elliott last year. And Chase Elliott, a championship driver, may just needed something to look at to have that opportunity, that rabbit in front of you, or excuse me, that carrot in front of you, the dog chasing the carrot, to go out and grab, to go out and push towards. I don't know if Chase Elliott is driven by where his name will be in the record books. It doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem like Chase Elliott strives to look at the past and trying to be one of the guys of the NASCAR's greatest drivers. But I think Chase Elliott most certainly wants to be a winner. And we saw what happens when he's dealt with adversity last year. He didn't do very good with it. What more adversity do you have by then looking in your own garage and seeing people like Kyle Larson, who most people believe is the best driver in all of sports today, and then William Byron making a huge step by winning the most races last year and almost being the regular season champion, the crown that Chase Elliott wore the year before. Chase Elliott needs to look at the competition, look at the car, and realize winning right now consistently is harder than it's ever been. Winning in his own garage at Hendrick Motorsports may be the most difficult that it's ever been since he's been able to drive the car. So if Chase Elliott wants to put his stamp, his legacy in this sport, he needs to show that he is back. And he did do that. There was times last year, I believe he had 7 out of 8 races where he finished in the top 10. Again, he almost pointed his way into the playoffs. Chase Elliott's not a bad driver. Chase Elliott may have just needed refocusing, reattention on getting back to being the best driver. Not the most popular driver, but the best driver. It would not be a shock if Chase Elliott gets back into the Final Four. But Chase Elliott has to be the driver that is committed to doing so. He has the equipment. He has the owner. He's got a crew chief, as much as we give him hell, has done a lot of winning in his days with Alan Gustafson. Everything is there for Chase Elliott to win. Is the mindset there? Is the passion there? Does he want to be one of 3 drivers to be a multi-series champion in the sport and would be the youngest by quite a few years to do so? Chase Elliott is in the prime of his career. He's won a championship. He's won tons of races. He's won a regular series championship. Are we going to see now for him to put that stamp and we really look back and say this was an anomaly on a Hall of Fame driver's career? Or are we going to look back and say, man, the driver was never the same after the 2023 season? I think it's going to be the first versus the latter. I think, unfortunately for me, in the next coming years, as Kyle Busch is in the twilight of his career, that Chase Elliott is going to be a force to be reckoned with because he has everything in front of him to do so. He has the talent, he has the ability, and he most certainly will always have the ride. But in NASCAR, especially with the next-gen car, you have to bring it week in and week out. Chase Elliott does not strive to win in the multi-series and multi-aspects of racing that his competitors do. Will that change? Did a light bulb flicker above the head and go, there's a lot of people doubting me for the first time in my professional career. It's time that I show them who I really am. And honestly, I think when it comes to being at Phoenix, Chase Elliott's got just as good a chance to win it as anybody else. Well, guys, that's going to do it. That's me making the case for Chase Elliott as a 2024 champion. Will you think that Chase Elliott gets back into the contender spot? Or do you think he's just a average driver now. Hendrick, is he the first, second, or even the third best driver? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you here on a weekly basis. We're going to be all kinds of news. This is the ways you can catch us. We got videos, live streams. We'll have that later in the week. Chats that you can be a part of. Join us on Facebook, Patreon, and Rumble if you don't want to be on YouTube. Those are other means of catching us as well. But it is Daytona week. We're going to have plenty of predictions, bold predictions. I'm going to put some shorts out there for you guys entertainment wise. And it's going to be an awesome week. We are back to NASCAR racing, everyone. Let's get into it. Let's have a wonderful, wonderful 2024 season. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Ryan Peters. This is Stuck in the Catch Fence. God bless.